All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How you doing today?
Good morning, Carlos. I am great. I was just actually watching the first half of Paris's webinar from last night on Bearable Traders that I missed. I was able to attend the second half, but not the first half. So just catching up.
Excellent, man. Excellent. I'm sure it was a good one. Haven't had a chance to look at it myself, but I'm sure it was awesome. He always puts on great stuff.
He does. He does.
Excellent.
I'm doing good. I jumped right in early this morning. We had some early economic data, so started getting active here in the markets to see what was going on.
All right, let's jump right to that. Since I see the market reacting a little bit here with some good volume at the moment, what's the latest and greatest?
Well, the numbers I were watching came out a little bit earlier, and I got it wrong. It wasn't 8 o'clock. It was 8:30 when we had a couple of things that came out today. We had core PCE prices, which came out just slightly under the forecast. GDP was one of the bigger ones that I was watching. GDP actually came in above forecast. 4.9 was the estimated GDP growth, came in at 5.2%. So I guess that's good for the U.S. economy. And the U.S. trade balance, interestingly, I guess in a growing economy, maybe it's not a bad thing if the trade balance was actually to the negative, which means that there's more goods being exported than imported. But, again, that would mean that U.S. companies are exporting, more. So, well done, U.S. companies. Other than that, I'm expecting a couple of speakers today. With Barkin and Mester, you can see they're speaking at different times. Normally, they won't have an impact, and I always say, but you never know. Yesterday was a good example of the you never know, right? Because if you look at yesterday's charts on the SPY, you could see this odd jump. Well, we can tie it to the fact that there were some comments made by one of our Fed speakers yesterday that said there may be an easing or a lowering of interest rates. And you can see how the market sort of jumped up after 10 o'clock in partial response to that. So you never know, right? When they say something the market grabs a hold of and will react to. So keep those speakers in mind just in case. And the big one for this afternoon will be the Fed Beige Book. So that Beige Book, when it comes out, often sets a tone for what people think the market's going to do. We'll see when the Beige Book comes out. That's not a number. That's more of an economic statement. So we'll see how the computers read it and react, and then how the actual deep money traders see it and react. So 2 o'clock could be interesting. So keep those in mind for the economics today. And I can't believe overall we're back into earnings season. I feel like we just finished earnings season like 3 weeks ago. But earnings are coming out. We got some to talk to you about today that happened both last night and this morning. So we'll get those on the gappers list. We also, yesterday I mentioned how the markets were down, but you never know what that means. And as you can see, the market yesterday sort of, jumped up, moved down, more or less ended up barely higher than it started. But that was on a morning that started red. This morning, we're the other side. We're starting green. Everything is looking green across the globe. A lot of the commodities are also looking green. So overall, we're seeing like a positive day, but don't let that fool you, right? Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to finish positive on the day. But so far this morning, things are greening up.
Yeah, looking really good today so far as the overall market. So thank you, Peter, for that. Let's jump right into our gappers list this morning. There's a bunch of stuff in the green territory today. Some names we're very familiar with. We got Foot Locker on here, which we haven't seen in a while. And some other ones up 130, 27, 15%. GameStop, nice. So we'll look to see what's driving these, maybe the top 5 or 6, and then we'll dive into what you guys like this morning after we look at our gap down, which I see JD and some Chinese companies here on the downside of things. So let's jump in here, guys. Let's take a look at it. The first one this morning, we're looking at VVOS, and this is up 180%. Let's get our daily. 180%. So the stock was hanging around $4 for about a month, and something has happened today that has caused a beautiful pop over to 15, almost $14 here. So, Peter, it's a nice big pop for VVOS, Vivos
Yeah,
Therapeutics.
they had FDA approval of an oral device for sleep apnea. So that news came out this morning, and we can see them jumping up. This is well, if you haven't guessed already, it's medical devices. Sort of one of those, not exactly a biotech, but a medical devices company. So
Yep.
sleep apnea, I don't know if it's just in my consciousness. Seems to be more people have sleep apnea. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe with the obesity, it's become more of a problem, but number of people in my family are using those what do you call those masks there anyways those
Mask. Oh,
breathing
the
masks.
yeah, yeah, the jet mask that inside of
CPAP,
the tube. Yeah,
there you
yeah,
go. Yeah,
yeah,
the CPAP machines. So
yeah.
anyways, these anyways, so I guess it's very relevant here with VVOS that they've come out with a device that may help with that. They've got a market for it. So
Oh,
look at the
geez.
volume. I mean, people are reacting to it. So I guess it's might be in play. I would consider it. It's not exactly a low float. Well, no, it is a low float. I misread that. I thought it was a billion shares. I only see a million shares. So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fact that it's a million shares in the float and it's already traded 6.5, yeah, yeah, high risk, low float. Yeah, just be careful.
Yep, absolutely. I'm putting it here in my risky pile, guys. This stock is in play, obviously. But again, just look at the moves right now. Right now, it's just dropped from 1350 down to 1180 very quickly here. In this one candle from 1260 to almost 1180. So again, very big moves. If you are trading low flow stocks, be very cautious with this one. Let's look at the next one here. Is JOS, YOSH. So
Gosh.
this is Jashiharu Global. All right. And they are up 33%, 453,000 shares traded right now. Looks very ugly for me, guys. Hard to borrow, SSR. So you got a bunch of stuff there that are not in its favor. And again, I just don't see enough volume to make this interesting for us to look at. So, uh,
No, this is a restaurant company. I don't know what brands they have, but it's a restaurant company. Yesterday, they announced that they have an agreement to purchase 3 restaurants in Las Vegas. So, somebody was just talking about that. Ramen AKU. Someone I was talking to on the phone last night was mentioning ramen restaurants.
mm,
So, anyways, all right. So it looks like they're going to buy a couple of restaurants.
okay. It doesn't look great here, guys. We'll leave that one alone. Let's head down to BMEA. And this morning, this is up 27%, but another one that the volume looks pretty poor. And also the daily doesn't look awesome, right? So, and there's no day here going back until maybe September. Every day here is below 1 million shares traded per day. So that's very low volume throughout the day. Even today on this gap up doesn't mean that they're going to be trading well. So don't like the pre-market activity. Biomea Fusion. So, but we'll skip on that one too, Peter, unless you have
Yeah.
something worth talking about there.
No,
The next
not
one
really.
could be more interesting is GameStop. So GameStop had a big day yesterday relative to what their price is now, and now they're up another 13%, right? So they're up here at 1530 from the lows of 12. So some activity happening. 1.3 million shares traded, and yesterday a really nice day. Peter was driving this today. And actually started yesterday.
Jared.
Oh, Jared mentioned GameStop.
I
Could
don't,
be.
I, I don't know cause or effect there. Maybe I'm getting the cause and effect wrong, but Jared was all over GME yesterday and actively trading it. Yeah, Jonathan, maybe Jared was actually leading the ape army, whipping them into a frenzy. But yeah, I mean, really, it's just this thing still it is the granddaddy of the whole ape movement, isn't it? So it's not dead yet. Every time you think the game may be over, they're like, no, we can still do it. So a lot of volume yesterday. Like look at the daily volume yesterday, right? Sort of 3 times what it normally is. Drove this up. No real corporate news that I saw. Really, it's just earnings are coming up, but it's not for another week. Their earnings, so that'll be some fun next week. But yeah, I think the apes really just got themselves into a frenzy. And locally here, I said Jared was a big cheerleader, so just you know have fun with it if that's what you want to do.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute there. Yeah, so there you have it, guys. It is in play. I'm gonna put it here with the risky one, VVOS. Again, just be careful on that one. All right, heading down, we have Foot Locker, which is FL here, and this ticker. Let's get it right. FL. It's earnings, I assume, because we never see this guy unless it's some earnings opportunity. So right now, 12%, 402,000 shares traded. And for the most part, they're really not a great intraday trading company. So I always watch them. I never stop from watching them, right? Because I hope they're going to do something, but they tend to disappoint more often than not. Peter, is this
Yeah.
earnings for today?
As do I. Yeah, they had earnings this morning. They beat their numbers. A little bit surprising. At least I found it surprising. They beat their numbers and raised their guidance. So that we've heard a lot of negative news out of Foot Locker last few earnings. So it's good to see. I guess there's some positivity out there for them. They're expecting a good holiday season. So go out, buy your shoes. Foot Locker is expecting you. But that's basically what's going on. And you're right. We only see it at earnings, and I keep hoping it's going to trade well, and it very rarely does.
All right, so I'm gonna put it here anyway. I might move it down to a secondary. I always watch it just to see if anything happens, but most often it does not. Let's take a look at GameStop. GameStop, no, sorry, not GameStop. Excuse me. GM, which is General Motors. This one is up 8.8. What is a great pop for General Motors? Usually GM does not move like this. So nice pop here today. 2.5 million shares traded in the pre-market. What's going on with this, man? This looks nice. Looks great.
They announced two things. They actually increased their forecast for the full year, and they announced a $10 billion share buyback. So that's probably the main thing that's driving it. So that's a pretty big buyback. They said they're going to, which is a little surprising after they had like almost a $9 billion hit from all that. Remember the union strikes that they had. That they still have enough cash out there to buy back 10 billion worth of shares, but that's what they say they're going to do. So partly, people believe that this is debt-based funding because they're trying to, calm, I guess, investors, especially some of their big investors. I mean, look at the stock; hasn't been doing well. So, one way a company can shore up its stock price, say, no, we have confidence and we're buying back. Now, if they buy it with debt, that's not always great, but they haven't actually indicated where the money's coming from. But I said the speculation is it might be debt based. So either way, GM's jumping on the news.
Yeah, yeah. So again, looks good this morning. Lots of volume, great movement. It's still at the end of the day, it's GM, so there's not a whole lot of good trading activity on it throughout the intraday. I'm gonna put it here as a secondary because today, if there's any day this thing is gonna trade well, it's got to be today. I mean, this thing looks really nice pre-market right now, volume and also how much it's gapping up today. So GM will go on our secondary list. Let's do two more, and then we'll hand it off to we'll look at the what's gapping down, then we'll head off to you guys. QS is on here. So QS right now. Oh, no. Let's do three more. Let's skip this one right away. Let's bring out the garbage truck. Where's the garbage truck? Here it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
it
It's
seems a
brutal.
shame. I actually used QS as an example in some of my webinars because a couple of years ago I was trading it all the time, and it gave some good moves. But I agree, unfortunately,
Mm,
it's become garbage status.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Hot garbage there. Let's take a look at another one here. PSX. What do we have going on there? Philips. Is this Philips the actual TV? Like Philips Electronics or no? I'm not sure if that's what it is.
Uh, Phillips 66. No, this is the oil and gas company.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the oil and gas company up 5.3 this morning, 131,000 shares traded. No, these guys they don't trade very well. I'm not sure what's driving them today. That's a big pop for them. But as far as volume is my concern when it comes to these oil and gas companies. So be very careful on that one. I don't like it per se. Usually when that's in play, if there's any big news in this sector, maybe Oxy can do something, right? They'll get better volume, they'll have better trading activity. But yeah, I don't see much happening there with PSX. And last one
No,
but
this
not
is
least, yeah,
this one. It happens to be a singular event.
okay,
Elliott Management, who tends to be as a company, as a firm, they're activist investors. They've taken $1 billion stake in Philips. Usually, that means they want a seat on the board and they try and shake things up a little bit. So we're seeing a jump on that basis. But yeah, I don't expect continuing volume.
yeah, yeah. I don't see no, I don't see a way this thing is going to trade well today. All right, last one on deck here, STLA on the gap up list. This is brutal right now. I don't see again, just no volume. Up 4.6, 1. I'm sorry, excuse me, 114,000 shares traded. It just doesn't look great. It looks foreign, very gappy as well. Oh man, it was worse before. It's gotten better. But it was even worse before. Look at it in June, how small the daily is. So, yeah, not interested in that at all. Let's look at the gap down list this morning. Leading the way is VERV, and they are up 11.6. Another one with very low volume, only 137,000. We saw this, yeah, we saw this a few days ago, right here on the big gap down. And then from there, we have not looked at it since. Back here, gapping down a little bit, but again, no volume. I don't see this one trading well. So I think
No.
this is off the run, Peter, when we had all these therapeutic companies just reporting, right? I mean, I remember that was a bunch of them that reported all at the same time. So you're seeing some movement of those companies still. Um,
That Yeah,
yeah,
that was earnings today. Though it's a secondary offering, they're issuing a whole whack of shares, 12.5 million of them, in fact, at $10 a share. So that's why we're seeing the price move down towards 10.
all right. Not the best catalyst to day trade. Looking at the next one, CLCO. And this is down right now. The Cool Company. Yes, this is down some
Yeah,
more today.
this is really just a carryover from yesterday. You can see that it gapped down yesterday. We were talking about it and didn't actually end up trading very well from what I observed. Because they had early earnings and it was not good for Coolco. I think this is just a second day, continued weakness, but probably not going to be anything worthwhile.
Yeah. So next one will be LVS, which is Southwest. No, Las Vegas Sands.
Las Vegas
Um,
Sands.
yeah. So Las Vegas Sands, you're down 4.2 this morning, 1 million shares traded. So you got a nice drop today. This stock could be a hit or miss. Might be worth watching a secondary. What's the news today for LVS?
Well, a couple of stock ownership movements. So they do have a secondary as well, issuing some secondary offering of common stock, and apparently Mark Cuban is looking to sell the Mavericks, and
Yes, I heard about that, man.
yeah,
Nice.
and it looks like the family that owns Las Vegas Sands are in the running to buy it. So not a direct impact on the stock, but certainly they're gonna have to get the money from somewhere, which means they may be selling more shares, which is probably why there's a secondary out there, right? So that's the tie-in that's dragging this stock down today.
Yeah, yeah, it makes perfect sense. It's unbelievable. This guy bought this for like 280 million and now he's selling it for 3.5 billion. That is
Yep.
wild, man. Talk about really getting your money's worth
It's a,
there.
it's a good
Insane.
return on your
Oh,
investment. So
man. Excellent stuff.
yeah.
So, all right, so here it is, guys. LVS, not really in play. I don't really like that catalyst as much, but you can watch this one if you like. Let's look at Billy. Let's see what Billy is up to this morning. So Billy here, we are down 3.3. Again, some movement, but man, really bad price action on the daily. Has not been a great trader. We have not really been watching. I'm not sure if everybody's been and anyone's been watching this stock. So I see poor action. Oh wow, PCG. You guys remember this company here? So PCG's got some movement today this morning. Doesn't trade very well. At the moment, we're barely having any volume. It's just making our list because it's gapping above that 2%. But again,
PCG. Yeah,
this is
PCG is up
the
here because
yeah,
they're offering some convertible secured notes. So it's a form of a secondary offering, 1.5 billion of them. What's interesting, PCG. Just yesterday, I took off of one of my lists. HE. Remember that fell off the news. It's Hawaiian
yeah,
Electric.
Yeah, yeah.
They had a similar type issue. Remember the
Yes.
massive fires that happened in Hawaii, similar to what happened with PCG in California, and
Mm-hmm.
they went and settled. You can see they're sort of settled at their new price, significantly lower than where they were. Very similar sort of chart and profile, I guess, as PCG. But either way, none of these are good traders.
Yeah, yeah, they trade horrible. So we'll skip on that on those for now. Let's look at Baba and JD. Baba, which actually traded well the last couple, the yesterday, I believe. This morning, what do we have going on? Not much. Down again. So lately they've just been down, down, down. And again, they're gapping down on 2.2, 938,000 shares traded. They got some decent volume here. It was a great engulfing. Did put this up on Twitter, and also we talked this through our P Capital mentorship yesterday with Team A. But you can see here, beautiful engulfing pattern, nice drop yesterday morning. Other than that, then it did nothing after that. So one good move there. Maybe today there's some possibility of continuation. We'll put it on here. I like that it's gapping up, but gapping down, but for the most part, pretty dull right now. Peter,
Yeah, I
last
don't.
couple of days dropping. We have anything on this?
Well, I mean, it was dropping yesterday. If you remember, we had the news on PDD, which had great earnings
Yeah.
and was really sort of overshadowing the performance of Baba and Billy and some of its competitors. And PDD, had a big gap up. I didn't trade in a big, pretty tight range relatively yesterday. There was some trading opportunities, by the way, if you were able to trade it at the open, but. Other than that, yeah, it moved sideways for the rest of the day, which not much of a surprise. That's typically the way it works. But it held the gains. Today, we're seeing it down very marginally, like 1/3%. But I think it's just a little softness in that market overall that we're seeing Baba, Billy, and JD all up on the list. There's no news out of China that I've seen. So.
All right. All right, guys, that covers our list. JD's also on here, but again, just slightly down. Really not a whole lot of volume, not much going on. I like Baba a little bit better, so I'll have that on my secondary list for now. And we'll see what else we come up with. Peter, we'll start with you. What do you like this morning? What else is on your end?
Well, let me start at the bottom of the gap up list because there's a few there I want to mention because they're earning related. Well, actually, before I get to the earnings, I'll just mention Ford. Seems to be they just lowered the price of their electric trucks again. The pickups that haven't been selling well, plagued with some problems. But I'm surprised the stock is gapping up this morning. Might be interesting to follow. It could just be sort of a sympathy with GM, thinking that Ford's also going to buy back, but they haven't announced anything like that. But there they are. So Ford, GM, they're pretty boring trades. But if you like the boring, then you might want to pay attention. So I don't mind the boring. So every once in a while I will trade them. That's why I thought I'd mention it. All right, so let's go back to earnings though. There's two that I want to mention: CrowdStrike, CRWD, and Workday, WDAY. Both had earnings after the close yesterday. Both had very similar stories. So you can see they're gapping up. Workday is actually gapping up a little more than CrowdStrike. But they both beat their numbers. They sort of beat their numbers, had good quarters. Both raised their guidance on increased users. So they were seeing better sort of a better user base in both cases, which I was a little surprised by, but that's good news for them. Both of these, I've always struggled to trade, but so might be if you like the way they move, keep an eye on them. There had some good news overnight. HPE, Hewlett Packard Enterprise. They sort of mixed story here. They're gapping up marginally. Don't typically trade a lot of volume pre-market, but they had good earnings, but actually lowered their guidance. So they said that they don't see as good of a quarter coming in the next quarter as they had in this quarter. So that's a little bit of a mixed picture on HP, another one that doesn't typically trade well. NTAP. I think this is NetApp. NetApp, good report all around, sort of similar to Workday and CrowdStrike. Beat their numbers, raised their guidance, so they're also looking, good from an earnings point of view. And on the upside, the last one I'll mention is INTU, Intuit. Anyways, INTU. They beat their numbers and are held to their guidance. They didn't change their guidance at all, but held it. This one's tougher because it's just a higher price. It's to trade lower volume, but it's within the bucket of those. All right, so we mentioned most of the rest. Oh, two that maybe are on the downside here. DLTR, Dollar Tree missed their numbers and actually provided lower guidance, which surprised me going into the earnings season. I was surprised to see like Foot Locker up and Dollar Tree down, but there you have it. Dollar Tree did not have a good quarter. They're only gapping down marginally, just over the 100,000 share mark. But they did have earnings, so they might come into play. But they tend to be a tough one to trade. And just because I like to say it, woof, woof, WOOF. Another earnings play. Missed their numbers. Online pet retailer, Petco, and then the big wellness, whatever they're called, dog pet wellness, whatever they are. Anyways, woof is their symbol, and they missed their numbers in the quarter. So that's what I had for earnings. Outside of the earnings and the ones that I'm tracking, my buddy AMD is back with volume, but looking awful pre-market. So I don't know where the volume is, but it's showing over 2 million shares traded. But frankly, the chart looks a lot like it did yesterday. So I don't know where that volume is exactly, but it said, hey, look, it's back, I guess. Maybe it'll be more interesting today than it's been in the last couple of days. In fact, it's even got more volume than NVIDIA this morning, which is only at 1.7 million. So a little bit of a surprise there, at least from my point of view. Continuing to watch Amazon. Frankly, it hasn't done anything of great interest. I've been watching it all week. Hasn't been a lot of fun for me. Look at those daily candles, right? They're super tiny and in a tight range. So, anyways, probably not worth mentioning. Meta, on the other hand, did give some moves, and we were taking a look at that yesterday as it was doing some high-a-day breakouts for John. When he was on the microphone trying to see what he could get out of that. You can see it made a good afternoon move on Meta. Might be worth keeping an eye on. And the other one that I'm keep being surprised that it's been moving well. Microsoft is at these highs here and continues to go higher. It's not doing it in massive, fireworky, impressive fashion, but it's just sort of quietly gaining market share here. It's up over 384 so far this morning, and it's I don't know, it's just trading strong. And it's been trading strong for 3 weeks now. So
it's been a beast, man. It's been crazy. It's crazy. I think investors are loving their. Oh, what we got going on, Peter? What's happening,
man? It's my 9 o'clock alarm. I set I didn't have my alarm set, so I turned them all back on here today. So
I thought a disco ball was about to drop down from the ceiling. Lights going to kind of come on, and you're just going to get your groove on there for a second. But
that's always a possibility. You never know.
You never know. All right, so let's take it to the room, guys. Let's see what you guys like this morning. Tesla's being mentioned quite a bit, so we'll look at that now. And again, Tesla's another one that had a good day yesterday. Finally, not finally, but breaking out of this area where it's been struggling between that 240. You can see the beautiful support that it had over the last 2-3 weeks. It's above that 232. So yesterday went the full length of this consolidation there, and now we're gapping up. So that's real nice. Got some good volume. So that definitely going to add Tesla to our list. We love when Tesla starts trending and heading in one direction. If you haven't seen Tesla, Peter's Cybertruck, I do have a picture of it. Here is Peter's Cybertruck that he has parked over in Toronto. That's looking real nice. I think he tested something that they're gonna start selling these now. How does it drive, Peter? How is it?
How did somebody see me with all the camouflage on it? I thought I was invisible.
Well, they saw the second one you have. They were not too happy about. This was their second one that you had on there, and there were some questions being posted here. But
actually, I want to get a Cybertruck, Carlos. I'm going to imitate our truck on fire thing. I'm going to get flames continuously out the back.
Nice.
And I'm going to paste our pictures on the window on the front windshield with those those see-through screen things like they put on buses.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah. I'm working on that, but we'll get that
That
ready
that
soon.
is gonna be great. So Elon tweeted out that or posted now, not tweeted, he posted that the deliveries are starting for these trucks. You should start seeing them more on the road. It should be exciting.
You
Or
know,
not. I don't know.
Indy, you know what? Here's the thing. I agree with you. I don't like the look of them. I just aesthetically they're not pretty. I promise you though, probably 5 years from now, I'll love them
Oh
because
yeah,
this is
that's what
typically
happens.
what
Yeah.
happens, right, in the marketing world. Like,
Yeah.
think about. Do you guys remember when the Lexus first came out with the giant grill, and
It was
everybody
like, what
thought
the
this is
heck?
absolutely
Yeah.
ridiculous? Like, it looked idiotic.
Yeah.
Now every single SUV's got this massive front grill, right? Like,
If you don't have the big
and
girl, you're doing it wrong. You
yeah,
know? Yeah.
and so sometimes it's tough to be first, but yeah, you come out with something new and everybody's like, that is stupid, and then
Yeah.
before we know it, we're like, I want me one of those.
Yeah,
So
it's
anyway,
crazy how that works. The Mustang 2015, Tristan in our chat saying the Mustang 2015 was exactly one of those too. They came out with that big girl. My brother has a Mustang. When they came out with that, we're making fun of it. And now we're like, man, that car
yeah,
looks nice. You should think about
yeah.
that, right? So that's what happens. All right, so Tesla's good, guys. You guys mentioned that. We threw that on there, so that's perfect. What else we have? You, Suzanne is given a U, which is Unity software.
Yeah, Unity
Um,
software.
yeah, it's a couple of companies, software-wise, gapping up today. You mentioned that, Peter. I'm not sure about this one today, though. I like better what I have on deck. The day looks good for a possible breakout. Yesterday had a good day, but again, I have not been watching this enough to see if it's worth adding to our list here. Suzanne, if you have, you could definitely keep an eye on that. All right, what else? Let's see
Yeah,
here.
Unity. By the
Yeah.
way, I don't know if there's going to be much movement. Unity. The only news I really saw on it was Kathy Wood, good old Kathy Wood, did buy into that heavier, and a couple of things. Unity, the Trade Desk, a couple other software firms. So she's making bets there. Is that good or bad? Well, it's tough to tell these days, isn't it? Yeah, Kathy Wood was going the route of Kramer, where everything she touched was going the other way, but
Yes,
maybe she'll be making
yes.
a comeback.
Let's hope so. Oh, there he is, the man of the hour. Andrews Trey is loving the trading in the East Coast time frame. I'm telling you, man, it's for you Canadian folks in the West Coast or California, 5 a.m. man. It's early to get up to trade. So he's loving the West Coast, East Coast time zone. More reasonable and better for the body for sure. All right,
Yeah.
let's see what else, friends. So we have that. Nvidia we put on deck here. Actually, I forgot to add it on. I'll add as a secondary. I do like AMD today a little bit better, like you do, Peter. I think the daily looks great, man. The fact that we haven't dropped here, we've been maintaining this level at 122, and now we're pushing higher. That is nice. Andrew says my brain is working now. So yeah, so like that. What else, guys? What else we have in Nvidia over in our YouTube chat now? Joss, yeah, JYOS. Yeah, this is a scary one. Be very careful. Very low flow, very light volume for the type of float that it is. So be very mindful with that one today. I really don't like it as much. Um, and coin. How about coin yesterday? What a day it had again. Coin just continues, man. This run in November, we started November at 75. We're at 127 on coin. And again, the intraday trading, I traded this 2 days ago, is not great. The intraday trading spread is a little bit brutal. You got to be careful, but it's finding a way to end the day green, nicely green, $5, $7 up for the day. So it's one to watch. You just got to be very careful with the spread. I think as it keeps going higher, volume is going to keep increasing as you're seeing here. So maybe the spread can get better. But man, just be very careful. Make sure you size appropriately. You do not need to take a bunch of shares on this. You could literally take 100 shares and make $300 the way this thing is moving. So just be mindful. Make your money on the number on the move, not the number of shares. Don't go crazy on that. But I like coin. I'm gonna put it on here. Just be very careful. So excellent. Thank you for mentioning that. Who mentioned that? Guido, our buddy Guido on YouTube. Thank you for that. Nvidia is good. GameStop, I have us a second, not a secondary. I have us a risky. GameStop and VVOS are on my risky pile here. Just be very careful with those. Over in our chat, Crowd, we talked about Crowd Russell T. I'm not a big fan of the way it trades. It is in play today, but this one, a Workday, Peter mentioned this. They're both in play today, both gapping up nicely, especially Workday is up 9%, almost 10. I'm just not a big fan of their intraday action, so I'm not going to be adding them to my list. I prefer to watch a little bit of the stuff that I have on deck now. But again, it is in play, so you're right there. Just be cautious on the way it trades intraday wise. I like the gap up here, man. Maybe an overreaction. Maybe we might be having a drop here. But if it's going to be strong, it's gonna it's gonna get above this high of the pre-market, and you can see a nice move to 265. But it's in a good place. Just be patient with the setup. Might not happen right at the market open. All right. With that said, friends, let's get over to our community events happening for today. Today is Wednesday. If you haven't done so already over on YouTube, please hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. We are sitting right now. What is this? We are looking at 76 likes. So thank you for those 76 likes. We'd love to be around 140, 150, 160. We're pushing it up a little more because we've been very good at hitting 150 almost every day. So thank you for that. All right. Community events. It is Wednesday. What is happening today?
Well, as I mentioned last night, we had a great webinar from Paris, and I was even watching part of it this morning to catch up because I could only watch the second half. Great stuff. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend becoming a member. If you're not, go into our education center, and you will be able to find it there soon. Tonight, though, we've got a brand new webinar coming from Randy Howell about stress-proofing your trading mind. We know how stressful trading can be, and understanding how to manage that stress is an essential part of every trader's journey. So tonight we'll give you some tips and tricks courtesy of Randy Howell. That's at 8 o'clock in the webinar room. And then next week we've got part 2 of Dr. Kenneth Reed's session on the Mark Douglas philosophy of trading. Like you said, Mark Douglas, rest his soul, he passed away a few years ago, but he originally produced this stuff about 40 years ago, and it's just as relevant today as it was then. He is sort of the granddaddy of trading psychology, and reviewing the lessons that he originally put down are absolutely a worthwhile activity. So Dr. Reed will be taking us through that in his 2-part series that will conclude again next week on Wednesday, December 6th. So that's what we got for Wisdom Wednesday, our psychology day. If you want information on the markets anytime, Carlos is going to show us tradingterminal.com. There it is, because you can get information anytime you want from Trading Terminal. We've been doing a lot of work to improve it, to add stuff. I mean, there's a ton of stuff. Go in there, explore, figure out what it's got. We use it every morning to get our gappers list. We've got the scanners in there. We look at the economic calendar. I look at the earnings calendar. I mean, it's all happening in tradingterminal.com. It's built by traders for traders. So, and we want to improve it. So like I mentioned the other day, don't be afraid to give us feedback. Use that little square happy face down at the bottom right-hand corner and give us your feedback, whether it's happy, sad, or indifferent. We want to hear from you. We want to know what you think so we can make it as effective as possible for you. So click on it and let us know how we're doing. If you want to join it, the chat room or any of our programs, well, we've got some good deals right now. The Black Friday mega offer. I like it. It's a mega offer, not just a regular offer. It's a mega one. But it is the first time we've ever combined our P Capital trading program with our elite Bear Bull Traders membership. So essentially you get the best of all worlds. If you really want to intensify your trading in 2024, this is the way you're going to be able to do it. We've got 3 boot camp classes that happen every year. 2024, we've got 3 scheduled, and you can sign up for any one of the 3 using this offer right now. And it's a 3-month intensive program. It's boot camp, right? We don't advise it for somebody that's just starting in their trading, but if you've got a couple of months, and you can get those couple of months experience, because you need to come in knowing what you're good at and what you're not good at, what you want to focus on and where you need help, right? So once you've got at least that understanding, we can help accelerate your learning journey. We've got people that have done this multiple times because they see huge value in it, and people that have taken it and said, oh my God, like it transformed your trading. It's not an easy process. I'll tell you that. There is a ton of material and it's very intensive, but it's well worth the investment if you're up for it. So the Elite Platinum program that we've got is going to give you that 3-month boot camp. We've now included a $50,000 funded training account that you can use as part of that boot camp. And we're going to give you a full 1-year elite membership to Bear Bull Traders. So, I mean, it's pretty much everything you need to really sort of get you going on all cylinders for your trading journey, or all batteries if you want to be EV like. So use that program if you're really looking. If you've got questions, we're here to answer them anytime. Email any one of our team members. Email the info group. And as the support group, they'll be there to help you out. We're happy to give you whatever information we can. All right. So that's the Elite Platinum. Of course, we have our other membership. If you just want to join Bearable Traders, you can use the basic or Elite monthly programs or the Elite Annual, which are always out there for your use. Listening here right now, if you just want to get started, you're on YouTube and you're not sure if you're ready for that level of commitment. We get it. Kick the tires. Test us out. Use the intro program. It's down at the bottom of our webpage. Go to bearable.com and you can see right at the bottom we've got the intro offer listed there. Click on that and then use the promo code PREMARKET24. It'll come up as a $39 price. That's the regular price, but because you're coming to us from the YouTube channel, we want to give you a discount as we always do, and it's $24 for you guys. So use the code PREMARKET24 and you'll get that $24 discounted price. Okay. Chris L is saying that took advantage of that offer and can't wait. That's awesome, Chris. Should be a good start to 2024. And we look forward to having you in boot camp. I know we have a lot of people that have signed up. Mike was saying the other day, we've got signups all the way into September 2024. So it's already starting to fill up. But yeah, and I see a couple of people asking for info. Mike's giving them his email. Mine's peter@pcapitaltrading.com. Email me, as well. We're always happy to, help out, answer. And you know what? Look, whether you believe me or not, we're not going to give you a sales pitch. We're going to tell you honestly how it works, what the benefit is, whether it's suitable for you or not, right? Because we want everybody to make an informed decision, and we know it sells out all the time. So we want to make sure that those that really sort of are ready for the help and can most take advantage of it are the ones that are able to join. So, it's Gator Don. I see you're asking that you purchase as well. When will you get contacted? Mike can probably take that and give you an indication when the emails will start flowing. It probably depends which session you signed up for when you can expect information, but we will absolutely be reaching out. And Layla Jake, oh, that's right. Well, she is just finishing the boot camp. She did it earlier this year, and was great for her. So anyways, enough of the sales. But again, if you've got questions, let us know, man. We're happy to answer them. All right, let's set some levels. We're running a little slow today. Back to you, Carlos.
All right. Thank you, Peter, for that. All right, friends, let's jump right in here. GM is moving nicely, man. This is on fire. And so is not as much but as Ford, but it is cranking here. So definitely in play today. I have it here on my secondary. Might be actually more attractive than Foot Locker. So I actually might make that change. So we'll put GM here. And we'll move Foot Locker down because GM, whatever's got going on, it's looking good this morning. So here it is. Foot Locker, we'll put it down here. All right, let's get some levels in here, guys, and then we'll hand it off to our good buddies Brian and Andrew, which will be trading live this morning. Here it is, guys. GM at the moment breaking some highs. I'm just going to mark down this area here. It's around 31.78. We did have a little struggle getting above this level in the pre-market. We'll come back and get the pre-market high as it continues to do its thing here. At the moment, towards the top, if we look at the daily, we have a level over at 32.84. And then another one at that 33.40. And then all the way up here, I don't think we might not get there today, but the way this thing is moving, we just might, 34.06. So again, it is cranking this morning. Towards the bottom, if we were to get a drop, 30.90 is a great area. Another big daily level down at 29.98. So right over here, you see a lot of touches, a lot of days opening and closing right around that 29.98 area. So you want to have that down as well. Let's head over to AMD. AMD's dailies looks really nice. We had a huge move here over the last couple of days. All in November has been excellent. Then it's just kind of stalled. It hasn't been able to do anything. And hopefully we can get some kind of breakout and get this stock back into play the way it's been just 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, this thing was on fire, moving nicely. But it's really having a tough time over the last couple of days. 123.57 is the high of the pre-market on AMD. Towards the bottom, the low is pretty much slamming with the previous day close, so we'll leave that there. In the meantime, towards the top, above the highs of the last two trading days, we do have a 124.84 level, and that's all you need for now. We really need AMD to get past this highs and lows of the last two trading days. Is really struggling up here. So if we can get above that, we can focus on finding levels that are a little bit high. But right now, let's just focus on that, getting past the area of resistance. So towards the bottom, we're looking at 119.97, and then we have another nice level over at 117.87. I think that's all you need for now. on AMD here. Let's take a look at Microsoft. Just trucking continues to break recent highs here. We are all-time high on this, right? Yeah, there it is, another all-time high for Microsoft, setting it up this pre-market, I believe. So high of the pre-market at the moment, 385.50. Slam a level there. So you guys slam that thumbs up over on YouTube. We're sitting at, did we hit our goal? We're sitting at 120. So just, wow, just 30 more to hit our goal there. So if you could help us, that would be amazing. Thank you for that. We appreciate it very much. High of the pre-market or all-time high for Microsoft, 385. Towards the bottom, you got plenty highs and lows for the last 2 trading days, and I don't think you need to add anything else, right? Just you got all your levels set here, so you are pretty much set on a Microsoft there. Here is Tesla. Tesla had a great move yesterday. Again, we talked about this range, right? The low of the range, the top of the range. We went the whole distance there yesterday and then some. And today we're gapping up 1.2. Pre-market action, though, looks ugly. Like this is an ugly, ugly pre-market activity at the moment. The volume is here, but it's not really giving us a nice movement. Either way, we're not going to put too much weight on that. We know Tesla can have this type of trading activity in the pre-market and still do very well. High of the pre-market 250.45, the bottom 248.12. And then towards the bottom, I'm just going to add one level, which is right around 242.81, right? Then below that, you see plenty of highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. I don't think you need to add anything there. Now, towards the top, if we were to get cranking here, let's take a look at the day, couple of days on the left. We have 260, 256.06 is definitely a level, so we'll get the big ones first. And 263.61 is definitely another daily level. I think between the high of the pre-market now and this 263, there are a couple of days slamming in here. So I just want to mark this down because I think this can be an area that if we do get above that pre-market high, we might have some flirting with a 260 and 32. So 260.32, you want to have that there as well on Tesla. And let's see. Great day yesterday. Can this momentum continue on Tesla? Another one that has not seen a red day in the last, 2-3 weeks. I mean, this thing has been on fire. And even their red days have been very contained. And they've been able to get from 70 all the way to 130 in the month of November here. So looking at this high of the pre-market at the moment for coin is going to be 130.81. Towards the bottom, we're looking at 127.42 for right now. Let's see if that holds. Looking a little weak as we're getting past the previous day close here. And then towards the bottom, we have highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. Don't need to really add anything else there. And let's head to the left. I know we've been up. I don't know if we've been up this high, but I thought we've been higher. Is this all-time highs for coin? It actually could. No, we've been higher when the Bitcoin mania was insane. Here, I'm just going to pick something off the weekly going back to 2022, 148.68, and then another area here around 177. Again, that's a stretch, but the way this thing is moving, it can really, really get going. So be very, very careful on the way this thing is moving today. All right. That is coin for us, friends. I think we're all set. Let's get a quick look at our moderators list. Let's bring this over here. All right, moderators list. See what our team is watching this morning. And here we go. Let's hop to the top and look at what the team is watching. All right, we're starting with Jared. His sounds are available. Thor will be looking at the SPY, the Qs, Tesla, and AMD this morning. No, one IPO here, FEBO. I think this was here yesterday, right? Yeah, didn't open yesterday. Probably won't today. Yeah, it's been going back and forth for a couple of days, so don't expect anything out of it. Here is Megan looking at Tesla. Peter, your list: AMD, Tesla, GameStop, secondary list: Foot Locker. I'm sorry, I keep saying GameStop. That's GM, Foot Locker, GameStop, and Microsoft on the secondary list. And for Jared, Coin. I mean, yes, Coin is on my list, man. This is on fire. GameStop and AI. His secondary list, U and NVIDIA for Jared today. And Mike will be watching Tesla and nothing for his options watch list this morning. So, all right, there you have it, friends. We are all set to go. Brian and Andrew are trading next here. Are going to come on to take us through the market open. Peter, anything that we might have forgot for today?
I think we got it all covered. Trade smart, everybody, and have a good day.
All right, guys, take care. Have an amazing trading day today. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 8:30. Happy Wednesday.